Ladies and gentlemen, welcome today to the Arab Center for Research and Political Studies in launching the Syrian Memory Platform, which is one of the projects, important projects in the center. Dear attendees, based on the duty of the Research and Knowledge Production Center in Social Sciences and Humanitarian Sciences and its commitment to address what the challenges facing our communities. The center is keen to study democratic transition and transitions in the Arab world since the end of the first decade of this century. And it has focused on democratic transition, experiences of democracy, and the movements of protests, revolutions in Egypt, Tunisia, Libya, Yemen, and Syria. These publications by the center became indispensable sources for researchers and scholars specialized in this regard. The center has exerted great efforts in organizing many conferences and symposiums and scientific meetings to highlight the various aspects of democratic transitions and its problems in the region, analyze it objectively, keeping in mind staying objective and preserving the truth and justice of the issue. In this context, there is a major project documenting the events of Syria since the beginning of the revolution in 2011 to become a reference for facts to preserve the memory, the Syrian memory, and its various developments, including all its trends, directions, aspirations, without any sugarcoating or any ruining of its image. So in the Brussels project, we meet today to reap its fruits. We started working on it since 2019 with a Syrian research team, including experts from various fields. Today we have on the platform an elite of these researchers, Syrian researchers, as well as a number of researchers who are sitting among you who worked really hard to make this project a success. The Syrian memory platform launched by the center today includes a unique archive. Its pillars are memoirs that are highly credible and trustworthy, and also an oral archive and library, and a massive archive of videos and testimonies that were verified. The platforms allows users to browse the various archive materials. Dear attendees, the importance of this documentation is very important because it overlaps with various fields and it provides objective and accurate documenting of the events past the Syrian revolution in 2011. This enables the Arab audience to follow up the events in Syria during this critical era, and it is a credible source for researchers at the same time. For more about the platform, the Syrian Memory Platform, I invite Dr. Mahmoud Al-Haj, the Syrian academic who focuses in his research the relationship between religion and politics. I give him the chance to take the podium to talk about this. We have other experts who will give more in-depth explanation of the divisions of this platform and how to best benefit from it. Thank you very much. General Director of the Arab Center for Research and Policy Studies, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters in Syria and the diaspora, followers on the online streaming and via TV. We are here today to launch the platform Syrian Memory, which represents the culmination of work that was launched by the Arab Center along 5 years. More than 60 Syrian researchers participated in this work inside and outside the country. Ladies and gentlemen, the center was keen to give attention to the Syrian revolution since its beginning as a part of its attention and the importance it gives to democratic transition. The international attention was exclusive to the Syrian cause was taking a step back, but at the Arab Center we worked on a project to archive and document the events of the Syrian revolution on a research basis. In early 2019 the Arab Center has launched or began this project, and after all these years we are able now to achieve this objective. In this platform we have databases and a huge content archive that can be used for various purposes. It was established based on research basis, and so legal experts, journalists, and all those specialized can find out the events that happened since 2011 until today, even if they're not specialized, and regardless their rank, their position, and their education, they can find whatever they want to find out about the events in Syria since that day. The objective of this platform was to preserve the Syrian memory and preserve it as alive, to document the major transitions that Syria experienced since 2011 for this generation and for the upcoming generation, and to provide a credible, trustworthy research reference that everyone can access and deal with. And we hope that this would be a basis for the development of Syrian research and studies about the status quo and the current phase. I do not want to take too long, but we are in need for more introduction of the parts, various parts of this platform. My colleagues will provide you with more explanation about what we've done, the content of this platform, and this will be done with figures and presentations by my colleagues. And this platform, as mentioned by Dr. Ahmed, memoirs of the Syrian revolution. It is a detailed, credible registrar or database that covers the Syrian revolution and the critical years between 2011-2015 and covers the international interaction. These events listed on this platform were strictly verified through thousands of sources. These memoirs are unprecedented in the events of the Syrian revolution, and this platform also includes the biggest library of oral history, Syrian oral history related to this era between 2011 and until today. It includes testimonies by eyewitnesses from various geographic locations, various areas for the same events, to understand these events, how they were embodied in reality, and the oral stories preserve the tension of the events. So we wanted this library to bridge the gap between the data and the documents, and to make the best of the opportunity of having these witnesses alive today, to find out how it was like to witness and see these events as narrated by the witnesses. The platform includes an archive, and that is another part of the archive. It includes the archive, the biggest archive that we have until today. Of course, there are many efforts in this field. However, we have this credible, verified archive that includes data that is collected and verified and scrutinized for the first time and published in a joint manner. On this platform, we have a database for bodies and entities that were established during the Syrian revolution. There are 10,500 bodies that are published on this platform. They are of various purposes. Some of them are political, military, civilian, government entities, and some of them are civil movement entities. There are so many documents issued by these entities and bodies. As you know, government documents are preserved using bureaucratic systems that we can refer to at any time. But non-government documents, the entities that were established during this era are only on social media. And so we collected tens of thousands of these documents, and we scrutinized and verified 25,000 of them, and then later on published 50,000 documents, and they are published for the first time. For the first time, they are in one place and can be accessed. There are many databases that are published in this on this platform, including 900,000 videos that are verified, taken from 2,500,000 videos, and 10% of these videos were deleted anyway from social media, which were a main source of these testimonies. These videos that document the events were analyzed, scrutinized, and verified so that you can access quantitative analysis of all these videos. I will not take too long in describing the content because we will have other presentations. However, I want to say that this platform was established technically to serve all of these purposes properly. It is not just a regular website. It was equipped with high-level research techniques to make it user-friendly, accessible, and able to be analyzed. It also contains maps for better access for the various bodies, and it has attractive visual aspects that makes it easy to use. It took us 3 years to design and establish this platform, and we had no previous experience. There was no previous experience for platforms that document any revolutions around the world. Last but not least, I would like to indicate some challenges that faced us, and some of my colleagues did not mention them. However, it's important for you to know them. The challenge for us was the erosion of sources, because most of the original archive and written and visual sources are published on social media platforms. This means that they are subject to algorithms, mechanisms, and rules that are out of the control of Syrians. They are always subject to be changed and to disappear. The other challenge was that there was a huge amount of information. The Syrian revolution was born in the era of communication. This provided an enormous size and volume of information, which made it harder to verify all of this information. There is really tens of thousands of original sources on social media platforms. How can we count them and access all of them? For example, there was 17,000 accounts on Facebook, and we accessed the data that were published on them. Same goes for other accounts on other social media platforms. So keeping account of all of these accounts alone was very difficult indeed. And the main challenge was how to demonstrate this huge amount of material and data in a technical tool when we had no other previous experience. We had to invent the form of the platform, the mechanism of the platform, how we can present the material, and how we can make this database available. This is why, or part of it was was part of the importance of this was having 100% Syrian team. We had no non-Syrian researchers. This team was established based on a variety and geographic locations. So this composition of the team would give us direct knowledge of the various sectors, areas, and so on. We also established a map of events, so a geographic map of the events. As you know, events did not happen in all of Syria. There are desert areas where events did not take place. This is the map that where the events took place, and it was taken from 900,000 videos. It includes the geographic locations where the events took place, and this helped us to verify the credibility of sources, to access sources, to verify some information. It was important to define the geographic locations of these events. We also studied the official accounts of the entities and bodies that we monitored before, and the accounts, the different accounts, and the reference material that we could use. We had certain conditions and terms for the use of these references, of course, and verification processes and how to verify things. Regarding that, we went to local entities as first account sources to verify that an event happened in a village. The best way is to go to a local source where it is very difficult to forge something. We went to these local sources because other sources rely on these local sources. We focused on that. We focused on local details because this gives our platform and the work that we have done the edge, and it strengthens the research that we have. We used live testimonies, personal testimonies, as a source of verification, and we strive to achieve objectivity and not have any sectarian, religious, or any kind of biases, and we were keen to verify everything that we have investigated and that was referenced by the sources that we have. Ladies and gentlemen, this achievement that we have today would not have happened without the efforts, dedicated efforts of the Syrian researchers who worked on the project throughout the previous years. I highly appreciate all the efforts that they have exerted to achieve it. And on behalf of myself and my work team, I would like to express my gratitude to the Arab Center, specifically Dr. Azmi Bshara, his support and limitless support and his belief in the cause of the Syrian people had a great role in making this project happen. I would like to thank Dr. Mohammed Al-Masri, CEO, who was always keen to provide the needed and continuous support and make sure that all the needs of the projects are met. I would like to thank Dr. Ahmed Hussein, who is sitting with us right now, and we had the honor of having him recently. He exerted great efforts to coordinate, follow up, and to achieve the launch of this platform. I would like to thank the members of the scientific committee, Marwan Qabalan and others. Their guidelines contributed to the development of this project. I would like to thank other colleagues who scrutinized parts of the project, Dr. Radwan Ziyada, Dr. Hazem Nahar. Their comments had great influence in verifying various parts of the project. Thanks to all these efforts to make this project a success, we are now about to launch the Syrian Memory Platform. This is an important moment for all of us, and we would like to share it with you and with all Syrians and all those concerned. And we look forward for this launch to be a great beginning in documentation and research. We have achieved an experience that can be a basis to build on, not only in Syria but in the Arab world as well. Our Syrian narrative is still not complete because history is still going on, still happening, but we hope that we have done our duty, and we invite a call on all Syrians to participate and contribute to the development, further development of the platform. We do not claim that this work is perfect. There must be some mistakes here and there, and we call on everyone to help us avoid these mistakes. Now invite my colleagues to present their presentations, more detailed presentations about this digital platform to help make a better image, introduce a better image about this platform. I would like to introduce them. They are well known. Dr. Ahmed Abu Zain, a researcher from Dar'a. He supervised the memoirs section. Dr. Atathi, she is a political activist, and she participated with the part of the testimonies and oral history. And Mr. Munqidh Uthman Agha, he is a distinguished researcher in political sciences, and he supervised the archive section. Dr. Ahmed Abu Zaid, please take the podium.
Good evening. We thank Dr. Abdurrahman Al-Haj and the Arab Center. The part I'm in charge of the diaries, and this pertains to the encyclopedia of daily events pertaining to the Syrian Revolution, and they cover the local level at the villages, then towns and cities, and then the national and international, and it covers different aspects. The language is standard, objective, and we try to provide accuracy. We have 29,000 registered entries, with daily events being the main part of, and then we have a smaller part regarding statistics, both civil and legal. We had many other classifications. These are some of the different fields of research. There is about 14,000 documenting massacres, 4,900 and also we had knowledge of events but could not verify, so it not include. And the see from the pie chart here the different sources: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and the sites belonging to different establishments, official and otherwise. The sources, the links, we have 56,000 files attached to these daily events, and also we have many interviews. We have the links to the archives that my colleague Munqadh will be talking about, and my colleague Suhair also. The different stages of our work: first documenting, then initial editing, then verifying. You will see when surfing, you see the text and the basic information, the links and the files attached to it, and the different documents linked to the other parts of the platform. The sources, this is just a sample of the sources we relied on. There is a news one, the international, political, Arab, regional, and the sources of the Syrian regime itself, and of course news agencies and local news agencies linked to the revolution. In addition, we also relied on special sources from each district, village, or locality, town, cities, and the different governorates of Syrian territory. And as you see now, and this was the result of more than 2 months now of events, daily events in different areas. As for the methodology adopted, we had a long chain and methodology standards which linked by the classical rules and open sources and verbal oral history. Also, the multiplicity of different narratives. Because of the multiplicity of the narratives, it was not always easy to get the accurate events and their descriptions. And what you see in these daily events is the final summary of what we did and what the platform can take responsibility for. As for the obstacles, first of all, of course, is the sources. There is a huge amount of sources, but how reliable they are and how accurate they are, this was a difficult and strenuous approach to achieve. Also, to separate events, what is linked to fake news, mobilization, and what is linked to proper statistics, especially the number of the victims, relying on documented killings by governorates and number of sources per each statistic. Finally, one of the main obstacles is the psychological burden and cost for writing on daily basis and having to watch graphic images of the victims. And finally, I would like to thank the Arab Center again and our team and everyone who participated in this project. Now I invite Mr. Herl Atasi to talk about the witness accounts and the oral history part of the platform. Good evening. And as way of definition, this is a long record of orally recorded events since the beginning of the Syrian revolution in March 2011, and takes into account a huge amount of witness accounts and a rare opportunity to learn from at first hand from those who participated. And sometimes this kind of statements, witness statements, are the only source to document these events. As part of the aims and objectives of any oral history, it's aimed at building a national archive and to protect it from oblivion and to be forgotten about, and to fill the gaps in the different narratives, like the details of the revolution when it started in Dara, in the Hamza and Al Abbas mosques, and also the different narratives and the chanting of a traitor is he who kills his own people, and many other hundreds of other events, and also to fill the gaps that public records cannot fill, like the details of the local negotiations between the regime and its allies and their representatives, and also to correct some mistakes and preconceived judgments and to avoid any manipulation of these events. As far as the structure is concerned, we implemented four standards or criteria. First, the geographical area, which was divided according to the intensity of the events and the scope of the witness statements, what is civil, humanitarian, political, and the time element between 2011 2022, and also the main themes like the negotiations, the Geneva track, Astana track, the different stages of the work. They were continuous, long. We can summarize them by first defining the geographical areas, the themes and the subjects, and then determining the list of witnesses and to prepare with them, recording the statements, and then prepare the video and prepare the identification tags, etc. Some facts and figures and statistics. The total number of recorded witness accounts were 2,500 hours, including 227 witnesses from 12 governorates out of 14. And the total number was 227 witnesses, 143 published witness accounts. Some were published fully or partially, and the geographical areas were 98. 74 areas had witness accounts emanating from, and this meant that 50% of the areas covered by the revolution were covered. Some statistics about the time element. The highest percentage was in the first early years when the momentum was great. As for and the background of these witnesses, some were civilian, some were military, some were political. Some started as a civilian, then they became military commanders and negotiators. The main theme and like demographic change, massacres, the difficulties we encountered, the complexity of the roles of the witnesses, and also some impressions were wrong. Like, for example, some people took an initial stance vis-a-vis the Geneva track, then it was changed later on, also maintaining the objectivity of the witness. Some political and military figures refrained from providing their witness accounts for security and politicals, and we went back to using false names, and the difficulty in reaching witnesses, especially in areas under the local truces and reconciliation agreements, and also the difficulties people had reconciling moments of happiness, joy, and disappointment, and pain, etc. We think we have accumulated in a lot of experiences among Syrians, the and of course the hopes are still there, and the messages we try to send is to send a message that these witnesses are the true champions of our oral history, and the research team were born out of this revolution, and our sincere thanks to the Arab Center, which enabled us to carry out this task and for their keenness on protecting the narrative of the Syrian resolution. I invite my colleague Munqidh Al-Agha to talk about his part of the project, the archives of the Syrian revolution. Good evening to you all. I'll give a brief explanation of the archive. This archive is aimed at documenting everything that surrounded the Syrian revolution, of events, entities, personalities, since the beginning of the revolution, and to protect it from manipulation and to classify them and make them easier and more available for the researchers who are interested in the Syrian affairs. The archive is divided into different parts, like the geographical locations, the personalities, and also we have other subdivisions like printed material, programs, revolutionary chants and songs, interrelations. We have analyzed more than 2 million visual clips. We this included 10,000 entities, 6,000 personalities, 50,000 documents. Our methodology relied on open sources, and these sources are divided into primary and secondary sources depending on the reliability and also our direct contact with the personalities involved. And also we benefited from the corrections by the relative parties. All the archives are classified according to the themes and subjects, the time and place, and this enables the researcher to go through them through a large number of filters to facilitate reaching these news. As we saw, this map represents all the geographical points where we documented events. It exceeds 4,000. Each dot on this map represents a document, a clip, or a video, or a recording of an event. I'll talk about the different divisions and the different applications on how to benefit from these archives for analytical purposes. We viewed more than 2.2 million clips taken from 4,500 channels, and we documented and verified 900,000. A lot of them are no longer available on the internet, but they are available on our platform, and they represent 12% of our content. I will present to you 3 apps. For example, when it comes to peaceful demonstrations, we see now the distribution according to time and the violence adopted by the regime. Each point here represents a demonstration. We have 1,980 spots where they saw a demonstration or a revolutionary action, and the reaction of the regime and the oppressive tactics employed. We see now the geographical spots and the nature of violence used against the demonstrations. At the military level, we classify that according to the type of weapons. for example, the different content. For example, we see the anti-armor missiles. Here we see a more accurate how different factions use these different types of weapons and the variations geographically. As for the violations, we see these violations and analysis of them, also the bombardment by the regime and how it was used against farms, markets, etc., hospitals, and the impact on that on these public places, mosques, hospitals, schools, barrel bombs also, and this is a more detailed usage on the geographical distribution of using these barrel bombs and the type of using according to the time element. As for the documents, we documented 50,000 documents. We classified them, like for example, the large number pertains to resolutions, decisions, and and also in the different entities we have classified 10,000 entities according to the nature of their involvement, whether it was military, civilian, or governance wise. Now you see some more details classified according to how they are classified as military or civilian. Here we see the different entities, governance entities, and their geographical distribution. The largest was the Syrian Free Army. We had 6,483 different factions. Mainly, we tried to make the linkage between the archive and other records, like more than a half of the documents are linked to visual links or personalities and events. We also wanted to document the interrelations between the different entities. We established more than 4,400 kind of these relations. Now we have, for example, Al Farouk factions in Al Qusayr. We see this network of their interrelations and how they developed and merged with other entities. We see one entity having 113 links and 97 entities, whether directly or indirectly. We classify 6,000 personalities who were active according to the nature of their role, and they are linked to the clips or other documents. This is the number of dissidents according to their military rank and also the time and place and date of their dissidents. Also, we have more than 17,947 clips pertaining to battles. Also, songs and artistic actions like soap opera series, songs, and the artists themselves and the lyrics of these chants and songs. Also, the circulars which were published at the local level, which was political or student publications, and there are more than 11,000. Finally, I would like to thank our team, and the names appear here on the screen for all the efforts they exerted, and we thank the Arab Center and their collaboration. And on behalf of all of them, we present this work to you, and thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you for the colleagues in the Syrian memory research team. I invite Dr. Abdulrahman Al-Haj and Professors Hazem, Marwan, and Jamal to the podium to launch the platform Syrian Memory. Please take the podium, Dr. Azmi. In conclusion, we thank you for attending the launch of Syrian Memory. We thank the research team responsible for the Syrian Memory platform for their efforts in preparing and establishing this platform, which is a portal into the past and can enlighten the pathways of the future. You can now scan the code, the QR code on the screen to access the Syrian Memory platform.